going on, gang? Sorry, I'm a couple minutes late and I had to deal with a crying baby. But shout out to everybody in the chat. Jonathan's here, Marcel's here, Brandon's here. Who else we got here? Stephen B's in the house. Jack Consigliere's here. Sunil's in the place. Yeah. Who else we got here? All right. But shout out to everybody that's here. Shout out to everybody that's here. Yeah. A rough day today. They lost 9-3. Is what it is. Austin Wells went deep, so that's good. But, the reason I say this is because I think the most obvious evident needs, in my opinion, are the need for speed and contact bats. And the offense needs to be, productive for more than one day in a row. So, I think a lot of folks would agree with that. Hey, Brian. Hey, Bronx Homers. What's good? Dennis. What's happening? So, again, yeah, the bullpen does need retooling. E. Frost is coming back soon. Yes, he is. So that'll be a good addition. I do, they're going to make some moves. They're going to make some moves. But the fact of the matter is, like, even with Giancarlo Stanton coming back at some point, that's power. But we need contact bats to move guys over. They get on base. Hey, Lou, what's good, Lou? Joseph, what's happening? Contact bats are going to be necessary for the second part of this lineup, right? And again, where are they? Somebody mentioned Cody Bellinger, right? And I reported on that. And then somebody today came up with a Jazz Chisholm to the Yankees trade. That chatter's heating up. So, and this particular one is from the Sporting News, and particularly Jim Bowden, Chris Kirschner, and Brandon Cuddy of The Athletic proposed this. Okay. Jazz Chisholm would be coming to the Yankees in exchange for Nestor Cortez, Brock Selvage, pitching prospect, and Roderick Arias, shortstop, for Jazz Chisholm. He's 26. He's got 2 more years of until he's a free agent. So, King Solomon, what's happening, man? What would Joe Torre do? He would steer the ship just like Aaron Boone's doing. Joe Torre had these losing streaks too, more often than not. So this happened. These happen. Speculation that the Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is hitting. Speculation where, Joseph? Where are you hearing that? Why are you getting worried, King Solomon? And they are like 22 games over 500. So, and I think that's an important thing for people to remember. I think it's important for people to remember. It really is. So, and with that, I mean, let me just pull up the stats. I'm going to give you Cody Bellinger stats. I'm going to give you Jazz Chisholm stats. I have them right here. Now, Cody Bellinger, batting 267 with 9 homers, 34 RBIs, 4 steals, 747 OPS. Not sexy. Jazz Chisholm, batting 260 with 10 home runs. Okay. RBIs, I don't know for some reason, but his on-base percentage is about 340. It's a little bit higher than Cody Bellinger's. But he also has positional versatility like Cody Bellinger does. So infield and outfield. And that's the thing. Well, I don't know, Jack. I mean, I don't know. I'm not exactly sure if they would change. I mean, that's probably going to be the ask, Roderick Arias. And the fact is, I would like to keep him too, but he's blocked for the next several years, Roderick Arias. So he's not taking Anthony Volpe's spot at shortstop. That's not happening. So, but third base and second base, yeah, I mean, he would be more representative of a second base fill right here. But that, the Yankees would still need to address first base and third base. And I do think that the urgency is more for the infield positions than it is for the bullpen. But I do think they're going to address both. Brandon, do I honestly, no, I do not. I do not think they will get Garrett. I would like for them to, but I don't think they will. I hope I'm wrong. I think the ask is going to be way too high. So, you know what I mean? And that's and Cody Bellinger could bat behind you know, around 5. He could bat after Judge. He could bat, in between Judge and Stanton. And then, this is a guy that can fit well in this lineup, and he also wants to be here. Um, and Consigliere, I think I'm doing an open panel the next 2 weeks, Consigliere. Next weekend, it looks like I'm doing it with some content creators, and the following week it's going to be the 161 open panel. Just wanted to give you that heads up. Rice needs about small Stanton. Rice needs that behind Rice. Move or do go to 6 when Stanton comes. You might do that. I mean, at the end of the day, we need 2 more contact bats, and both of them don't have to be trades. It could be 1 trade and 1 call up or something like that. So, but in order for them to address these guys, and the reason why I bring up Cody Bellinger and Jazz Chisholm, because they're on teams that are very likely going to sell. Cubs and the Marlins, based on how they're playing right now. So some of the other folks might not sell, and that's the problem. So I don't think Belly is going to lead off. I don't think they're going to mess with Volpe at leadoff. In all honesty, Bryce Plumber. I don't know. But they do need better contact hitters after Verdugo. Yeah, we do. Silver lining. It bats by Ben Rice, Gleyber Torres, Austin Wells. Wells can get more time. Well, he should get more time over. I would even let's just say Cody Bellinger comes here and plays first base, and Ben Rice is not part of the trade. If he's not part of the trade, I would make him the platoon catcher with Austin Wells and try to move Jose Trevino in a trade. That's my take. But hey, Carl, how you doing, Coach Carl? Do I think we can get anything from Tampa? I'm not sure, Jack. I mean, anything good. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. We're not going to get a Rosarena. We don't need him anyway. But anyway, Rice does seem to be a pretty good player. Yeah, I do think he's. Yeah, I mean, they moved him up a little early. I think they moved a couple of guys up a little early. But if somehow they trade for Cody Bellinger, because that's the chatter starting to heat up on that, he might have to be part of that trade. So I don't know. If he's not part of the trade, like I was saying, I would put him back at catcher and platoon him with Austin Wells and try to trade Jose Trevino. And we'd get net upgrade in offense in 2 positions, a first base and catcher. So that to me would be a good thing. Well, exactly, James. Well, the problem, James, is a lot of teams that we thought might be sellers, Diamondbacks and Mariners and some of these are look like they're going to be buyers now, based on either how they're performing, how well they're performing, or how poorly the teams in their divisions are performing. So it doesn't look what do you call it? It doesn't look like. I mean, it does look like the options are going to be a little bit more limited for Yankees particularly. So I like Rice, but if Bellinger comes here, he might have to go. If he does, I'm not saying he does, but I'm not saying he will. I should say. So we'll see. Could Neely be called? Yeah, maybe. He could be an arm. They're studying another arm. Neely's not the answer himself. So Bellinger does not play third, Stephen B. He does not play third. Once you start, just right, but we didn't have bench depth, that's for sure. We have prospect depth, but not a lot of them are at the high levels. And I've been saying this a lot, like, with the exception of, and not even Jones, like he's at AA still. Like our top prospects are not up in AAA. They're ahead of, they're lower levels, and that's a problem. Which is why, I'm hoping that their draft is college heavy. And they get corner infielders too. But college heavy guys tend to fill up the upper levels of the minors when they're drafted here over the high school players. So I'm hoping that I'm hoping that's college heavy, but we'll see. And I'll keep you updated on the draft too. I definitely will do that. But bullpen help is definitely a must, Alan. Yes. Personally, I don't care, right, Jack. He's a righty catcher. He's a lefty hitting catcher, but he's a righty catcher. I their offense is better than Trevino's is. So, you know, if if they traded for a catcher, I mean, a guy would go after would be like Elias Diaz from the Rockies, but I don't know if he's going to be available. In all honesty, Daniel Berry's here. Lorenzo's in the house. Juris Familia for the bullpen. Haven't heard that guy in a bit. Who's available to trade? Well, it's still a little early. We're a little over 4 weeks, James, from the deadline, and the names just keep popping up, and it's going to be like a circulating, little thing over the next couple of weeks. So, and like I said, teams that are going to be sellers now might be buyers next week, and so on and so forth. This might change every week. This is what the fascinating part about it, but it's also the frustrating part about it either, too, because we have a hard time deciphering what exactly the Yankees could do at the deadline. And it's not like, the Yankees brass tells us what they're planning on doing, or should they? So, um, Brahma asked, yeah, I mean, Renhefo would be a nice piece, but he's not the answer. I mean, we need more than him, you know? What went wrong? It's when Cole and someone else came back. But Cole's not the problem. But he did throw the rotation out of whack when he came back. So, and I'm not watching UFC tonight, Felix. Now, mm-mm. Yeah, get ready for the second half. That's right. Yep. Yeah, object is survive until that. Yeah, I mean, I do think they'll survive, but and I also think that a move or two should be done before the deadline instead of waiting until the deadline. But like, let's just say if they got Renhefo and Jazz Chisholm, would you guys be okay with that? Renhefo for third base, Chisholm for second. That changes the look and the whole feel of the infield. You know. Yeah, exactly. Concierge. Cole's test tomorrow. It's him against Kevin Gausman tomorrow. So ace for ace. Yep. So I'm hearing that they might be unloading Cody Bellinger, Stephen, but you never know. You never know. You know exactly, Marcel. Clark Schmidt's returning will be integral for the Yankees second. I agree. I agree. And again, like and at that point, I mean, do they move Hill to the bullpen? Do they trade somebody like Nestor Cortez? We don't know what they're going to do. That's a spot that needs to be opened up in the bullpen for Schmidt again. So I see Cole getting back on in small pieces, Wink. In small pieces, I see him. I think he needs a couple more starts to find his groove. But I mean, I see him pitching well tomorrow. So I do, and we could use a good performance from Cole. I think he could use a good one too. Cole's pitch limit tomorrow, I don't know, 80 maybe more than that. You know, um, depends on how it goes. I mean, he wasn't very efficient last time, so his pitch count ran up and he didn't last very long. So, but Schmidt, that's right. Cody Poteet comes back too. So when Schmidt comes back, I'm guessing they're going to move Luis Hill to the bullpen, so he could be the dart thrower. That way they don't have to trade half the team for Mason Miller. They get a Luis Hill, maybe he'll have the same effect as a Mason Miller would in the bullpen. No. Cortez, yeah, it wasn't that bad. And the bullpen wasn't great at all. So they weren't great. Garrett Crochet, Lewis who? Who's the second one there? Oh, Lewis Renhefo. Crochet and Renhefo. I mean, that's going to cost a haul. But if they did that would be a pretty good deadline for the Yankees. Pretty awesome deadline for the Yankees. So the Cubs, I mean, they're still significant out of the wild card. That I know. I looked at that yesterday. Cubs right now, as we stand, are in last place in the National League Central. last place. 10.5 games out. So, Marcel, I wouldn't be surprised if it ends Phyllis Ferguson. Ferguson's a free agent to be anyway. So, if they get a guy like Tanner Scott from the Marlins, that's I think is going to be the kill Ferguson replacement anyway on the lefty side. What would I give for Bellinger? Um, I mean, I do think either Ben Rice or Augustin Ramirez will be traded if they need a player, right? So, um, one of those guys would have to go. Probably Brock Selvage, probably Nestor Corey. I mean, it's similar to what those guys proposed. Similar. So yeah, LeMahieu. Yeah, I mean, LeMahieu is definitely way behind where we need him to be. It's taken him a long time to come back. Well, he's older too. He's not 24, so he's not going to rebound as quickly. But should we have kept? I had no problem keeping IKF. You know, and I think a lot of people who were trashing him regularly last year, maybe they miss him now. So yeah, Bickford. You got Tim Hill. Ferguson. I think Tim Hill is the other lefty, the sidearm lefty, right? Jack. John Birdie's supposed to return like in July or August. He'd be a guy to add some. And I saw Talbot. To what two infielders would you get, Talbot? Yeah, Urseg is a right-handed for Oakland. There's 99 struggles with command, but that can be really okay. Somebody to look at their Bronx Bombers. Thank you for that intel. Yeah, but DJ was fine too on utility role, but then he was kind of almost forced into second because they tried that Glaber Torres at shortstop which failed miserably. So you know, yeah, IKF is making the Yankees pay a little bit. Yep, he's playing well against the Yankees. He's definitely playing well. Teixeira, would you guys be happy with Renhefo and Jazz Chisholm, or Chisholm and Cody Bellinger? Just based on what we're hearing. I mean, those three guys are on teams that represent likely sellers. Likely sellers. You like Renhefo for second, McMahon for third, Tyler? I like McMahon. I think McMahon's a better third baseman. So I would take both of those if I could. It's going to cost a lot, but I would take both of them. But those two guys would cost less than Mason Miller would cost less than Garrett Crochet would cost. Chisholm and Belly. Yeah. Kind of on the same wavelength as you guys, Consiglietti, James. Yeah. Sean. What can this team look like in the playoffs? Hopefully faster, more athletic. I feel like the Yankees would never do something big if it makes sense. I don't know about that. I'm not sure about that. Now that they've, had the biggest offseason move for any team is trading for Juan Soto, they have to complement it with a big deadline move. They definitely do. Yandy Diaz, I heard him too. Yeah. Phil Hughes, I think, is retired. Joseph. Yeah. I think Phil is retired. But the bottom line is, contact bats. We need guys that are going to put the ball in play, and then we need guys that are going to create havoc on the base paths when they're on the base paths. So speed and contact, like seriously. That way, and Cody Bellinger and then Jazz Chisholm, you get good contact, pretty good speed, two lefty bats. So it's definitely intriguing. But with Bellinger too, he has an opt out after this year, and then he has 2 years at 25 per after this year. So he could opt out if he thinks he's going to get more in the offseason. So we'll see. You start losing too much as Stanton guy. Yeah, and Clint, he was definitely an important part of this offense. Thankfully he's already started activities, which is good, lower body activities. So hopefully it'll be quicker. He'll get back. Ketel Marte, Brandon Donovan. Interesting trades. But we've talked about these guys. Ketel Marte and Brandon Donovan. I mean, that would be cool, but I'm not sure the Cardinals or the Diamondbacks are going to sell now. I think that's one of the problems we have. Like guys that we're really hoping for, um, we could wind up not getting, which stinks. You know, 1-4 since Stanton won an IL. Yeah, yeah, he has made an impact this year, a significant one. Mm-hmm. Any chance the A's move Asterio Ruiz? That's a good question. I'm going to guess not, but you never know. We'll see, D-Train. They could split the series tomorrow. It's Cole versus Kevin Gausman. So it's going to be an interesting one tomorrow. Toronto Morgan Judgment. Yeah, they do. This is true, Constantine. Yeah, this is true. Well, Stanton's definitely probably the strongest guy in baseball. You know, I just wish he stayed healthy with his lower body. You know. Yeah, Cole's back, not 100%. He's not 100%. That's for sure. And I agree. We got to split the series. Yes. So you'd be happy about a Chisholm acquisition, okay? And then we got McMahon, Bellinger, Tanner Scott, another reliever. That would be a huge deadline, Talbot. Huge. Jazz would like clubhouse info. Yes, he would. It would definitely be a different dynamic than Gleyber Torres at second base. That's for sure. That's for sure. And we definitely need the Yankees to split the series because then they come back home and they have the Cincinnati Reds. That's not any easier. The Reds are an upstart team too now. So, Overling, yeah, and John Bird, I'm telling you, he was pretty valuable when he was here. Speed and defense. Yep, it was a shame that he got that stinking that calf strain right out of the batter's box. So I hope he comes back sooner than later. That's for sure. The reliever on the Angel, Tyler Anderson. Or is that him? Was he a starter? Or do you mean that closer? The closer was it Carlos Estevez? I think it is. The Angels will be willing to package Neto with Anderson for the right prospect package return. Uncontrollable arms. What do you think it would cost, What do you think it would cost? New power hitters? I'm not sure. I think we'll get Stanton back. I think we need more contact bats because they get on base a hell of a lot more than power hitters do. And then they would put the power hitters in a position to hit 3-run home runs instead of solo home runs. So, but you're right, Consigliere. No team is an easy team for us right now. You got that right. Brandon. Carlos Estevez. Talbot, Carlos Estevez. Yeah, Birdie and I would agree 100%. Birdie and Stanton are missed. Damn right. I like Birdie's versatility. That was a good trade that they made out of nowhere. And I really hope he comes back and he's healthy. So because we need his versatility and his speed and his athleticism in that lineup on the bench, wherever it is. We just need it on the 26th man. I think they're gonna have to do both, James. In all honesty, but you're right. They got to play their way out of it, even whether they trade or not. No matter who's here, they got to play their way out of it. So. If Cashman goes big, I would not be surprised to see Martian traded. Who would you trade Martian for, Consigliere? And anybody in here, if you'd be willing to trade the Martian, what would you trade him for? Who would you trade it for? That's the question of the night right there. What is this in my eye, man? Any update from Matt? Update on who? Update on Matt. What are we saying? Anderson and Neto for Beater, Zach Messenger, and Jack Neely. Ooh, I don't know. I'm not sure. People are excited to get Neely up here. That would be a tough one to do, Army Chummy. They would take Glaber if they would give up Hampton instead of Neely. That might be something they would consider. That might be something they would consider. And Hampton's known to have the best fastball in the system, so he's a highly touted. Jemai Jones needs to be DFA when Brand. I would agree. I think he will get DFA'd. It just makes sense from a roster standpoint to DFA Jemai Jones when John Brady comes back. Yes, we are out of first place. Yes, we are. Crochet plus. Crochet plus. So Crochet plus somebody for the Martian, or the Martian plus somebody for Crochet, or Crochet plus. Like, what would be your trade, Consigliere? What are you thinking? Why would you trade Spencer Jones for Mason Miller? He's rated higher than Dominguez is. Just out of curiosity. Chet, they love Spencer Jones too. I mean, I wouldn't trade either, in my opinion. But yeah, the MRI came out clean. He just has a bruise on his hand, Carl. He just has a bruise. Juan Soto. Everything came out clean. Thankfully. Need for depth in Jones. We get Soto resign and gets you. Yeah, obviously Soto's priority number one, right? And like, this is why I hope that they would move Spencer Jones up and start playing him at first base to give him a shot, because I think it's the easiest way to get him in the lineup with Jason Dominguez at the same time with Judge and Soto. If they do that, which leads me to believe that Cody Bellinger might not be a thing unless somebody's going to DH. No, so it's going to be interesting. Yeah, we do, Clint. But the problem is, we're not going to get, like, I'd be shocked if Cashman can extract a starting pitcher, Gleyber Torres. His trade value is pretty low, pretty darn low. It's an interesting one, Charmaine. I like it. I like it. Trade Dominguez to the Dodgers for Bobby Hill and Gavin Lux. Gavin Lux is like a bust now. Um, Bobby Hill, huh? Interesting, Jack. Interesting. Joseph, you would trade Dominguez for Mason Miller? You would trade him for Vladimir Guerrero, Joseph? No. Some bold takes up in here. If Juan Soto said he wanted 630, 45 a year for 12, would I accept? Yes. Yes, I would. Yeah, Baltimore Orioles went first. Yes, they are. Yep, changing. He could play a big role. And I think it's important for people to realize that if they call Dominguez up right now, he's going to be blocked. There's nowhere for him to play in the major leagues right now. Nowhere. He'll be blocked just like Trent Grisham is. Dominguez and Beater for Crochet and Fetty. Wow. Brown is going bold right there. I like that bold one. I like that boldness. That's a bold ass trade. But yes, you're right, Wayne. There's always a period of struggle. Even the '98 Yankees, the championship dynasty Yankees, they win it. They went in that hole too. Hmm. I hope. I mean, I hope not. I hope they can keep Ken's in their house. What do you know, Ken? Um, I hope that they can. What do you call it? Keep these guys from getting injured. Keep them healthy. I really do. Yeah, Bellinger came here. He would play first base. Where do I say no, thank you? Probably at 50 million per. Now, uh, years wise, if you can get him for 13 or something like that, it might cost 14. I would definitely. I would put an opt out in there as well. I would not put in a no trade clause. I would put an opt out. That's the way I would do it, Carl. Yeah, exactly. I mean, Soto's going to get what he wants. That's for sure. Dominguez and McMahon, they're on two different teams, Joseph. I wish you could trade them both. Dominguez for both. Oh, Sunil's got jokes with the Vlad Jr. package. Yeah. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of more appetite to trade Torres to trade Trevino. In most regards, it makes sense. It does. With the cost to bring Vlad on with the luxury tax will cost 21 million. Would it? Hmm. Does he have 10 left on his deal? Something like that, Ken? Yeah, I think Ben Rice is slowly becoming more comfortable here, kind of finding his groove. So he's looking like a major leaguer, man. He really does. He does. Uh, yes, the All Star reliever. You talking about Joseph Dominguez is Verdugo's replacement? Once Verdugo leaves, yes, D Train, I do. I think that's true. If he doesn't get traded, I think he'll replace Verdugo once Verdugo moves on. It's a logical fit, right? So it's definitely a logical fit. Do I think Verdugo? No. Why would they trade Verdugo, Joseph? No way. Mm. Perez, Dominguez, and Jones are blocked this year. Yankees don't trade Dominguez or Jones, so not allowed to be signed. Keep both. You have a ton of Rule 5 draft guys available. We just have to keep them on the 40, and then they're protected from Rule 5. So you take Bichette, Rob, but where would you play him? Because we got Volpe at short. Where would you play Bo? Second? Spencer Jones is in Double A, just waiting for me to promote to the Triple A, Joseph. He's starting to hit the ball pretty well over there too. He made some adjustments in his swing and his posture, and it's really it's bearing its fruit now. He's going to be a scary hitter. This team. Yeah. This is true. He won't cut his hair. This is true, Consigliani. He's got 10 million of a 20 left for his. So, like, with a trade like that, 10, they would have to try to offset it with something like, I don't know, try to move on from Tommy King and the Ron Marinaccio, something like that. To offset. And those guys make about 5 million bucks per. They could, Jonathan. They could DFA either more Sir Bickford to make room for Neely. It's good. It's possible. Hmm. Oh, I would agree, James. I think we're unless Dominguez has a like a serious longer term injury, I can't see Verdugo coming back here. But I like what he's done here. I do like what he's done. And then Triple A just said, well, we got Caleb Durbin, but I know he's coming off the IL. Um, Not a ton of others. A lot of them are in Double A. Yeah. Let's see. Getting all to Rice looks like he does. I mean, he looks good, Ben Rice. He does. Yeah, Vlad's going to get paid next year. If he keeps hitting the way he's hitting now, he's going to get paid in ARB. Mm-hmm. Bellinger's nine. Only has 9 home runs, batting .267, the WAR of 1. Yeah, he's still projected to make 20 plus home runs. Um, so his WAR, okay, but he would be also surrounded by a better team here, Dennis. So that's one of the things I think it's important to point out. He doesn't have that great a team in Chicago. He would have a hell of a team here. He'd be able to hit in front of the guys, hit behind guys. Like, he'd get a lot of protection on both sides of the plate. So, and that's pretty important. I think that's pretty important. I really do. By the way, smash that like button, gang. Let's get those likes up. Let's try to get over 100 likes if we can. It's always greatly appreciated when you do that. Join he might be James joining a Larham band. Oh yeah, Durbin Vivas. Yeah, but Vivas too is another one. He's starting to hit again. So we need him to hit. He's got 4 or 5 controllable years left too. Jazz Chisholm and Tanner Scott for Jason Dominguez. Jack, that's outside the box right there. Well done. Yep. I don't know about a 4-year decline, Marcel, but he's had some injuries, unfortunately. But yeah, Judge does have 80 ribbies before July. Yes, he does. Yeah. They can't force Rizzo to retire. Can't do that. They can't force him to do that. He can sue them. They can encourage him, but I doubt it's going to happen because he also has a buyout next year too. So, I mean, I do think that they'll buy him out next year, but I don't think they can force him to retire. Hmm. Yeah, Vivas's bat's coming around. It's taking him a little while, that's for sure. Get IKF back. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. People that were hating on him last year and the year before, all of a sudden want him back. All of a sudden, like, what happened to IKF? We need him here, and so on and so forth. Showing them appreciation. Thought I was crazy when I didn't want to trash him when I showed him appreciation. Thought I was nuts. Thought I was an IKF lover. It's like they call me Cashman lover and blah, blah, blah. Well, they got A-Rod. Yeah, A-Rod was also scandal ridden, disliked by almost everybody. And, his situation's different. I cannot see Anthony Rizzo mutually agreeing to retire. He's got more to offer, and he's a hell of a leader on the team, teammate. So that's the other part that I think needs to be factored in here. For a 3-month rental on a 2-year outfielder who sometimes plays second. Dominguez to me is if they want to win now, then they'll probably consider a trade with Dominguez. Yeah, Jack. Unfortunately, Pirates are never going to trade Paul Skeens. I like the thought, but they're not going to trade Paul Skeens. I think it's time for Boone to retire new skipper. No, I don't, Joseph. People keep every single day it's Boone this, Boone that. Yeah. I think the talking point that Boone's the problem every day needs to retire. That's what I think. Connor's a 4A guy. The Bucks has a career slash that too. Hmm. Gotta take a look at that channel, man. And they might do it, Joseph. I mean, who knows? You know? No, there's no more. These already been cleared by doctors, so it doesn't sound plausible to me. He's not having any equilibrium issues, any balance issues, or anything like that. This is like a legitimate injury, broken form. You know? I know for some they would like to basically invent the reason, will and wish their way to Anthony Rizzo retiring, but unfortunately, that's not going to happen. Dominguez for Skeens, Ecuador's no way. No way. You're going to need more than Dominguez for Skeens. And I can't see the Pirates. You're not going to get Skeens for less than Dominguez, Jones, probably Chase Hampton, Roderick Harris. At least those. There's no way you'll get him on a 1-for-1. I can't see that ever happening. I think Aaron Judge breaks A-Rod's record. What record, Joseph? Since 3 World deadline. Yeah, exactly. 2 million teams are still in the mix. A lot of these teams we thought were going to be buyers. I mean, we thought they were going to be sellers, and now they're going to be buyers. So it's different. So and this is going to change like every week going heading into the deadline. So it's going to be kind of crazy. Looks sketchy to use, Sunil, but you know. His bat, obviously, I mean, he's also an aging player, but unfortunately, that's not going to be enough argument to get him to retire early. Because this guy has got enough pride, he wants to come back and prove people wrong, and can't blame the man for that. And he's earned the right to basically have that contract. He's been 223 with 8 home runs, 28 RBIs. He was still on pace for like 20 home runs, 20 plus home runs. Rizzo, so it's not too bad. He's got 303 homers. Yeah. Cabron Hayes, who's that? You mean Cabrian from the Pirates? Ken, the infielder. What did the Mets do, Joseph? And they're rolling. What did the Mets do? I'm not sure I'm following. He's a pretty solid player, Cabrian Hayes. I think he's also one of the young building blocks for the Pirates. I'd be surprised if they moved him. I mean, it's him, O'Neill Cruz, Brian Reynolds, and Skeens are probably going to be the 4, their core 4, right? Need leadership on the team. How is Judge soft? Judge gave Stroman a talking to yesterday when he snapped at Gleyber Torres. So what exactly are you talking about? What do you expect him to do? Just out of curiosity, do you need tough talk? That's not going to happen. You're not going to publicly berate your teammates and throw them under the bus. Do I think the Cubs need a couple? I think they need a couple of short-term contracts. Yeah, I think they'd be willing to do that. Home runs. Yeah, I would agree to. I think we need to make strategic acquisitions at the deadline. Strategic ones. I'm not confusing them, Jim Robert. They also struggled. I didn't say down the stretch. They struggled. They had a losing streak as well. 98 Yankees. George Steinbrenner was pissed off. He wanted to trade guys. I'm not confusing them. 2000. The 2000 Yankees were a far inferior team than 1998. There's no doubt about that. Oh, Joseph, yes, sure, yeah, yeah. Also, and Stroman also came out and owned it. And he said he needs to be better at that. So he even called himself out on it. And Judge spoke to him, and Stroman owned it too. You won't get that from every player. How about Reynolds for the Martian? Well, now we don't really need Reynolds because they've got Verdugo and Soto. So they don't. I mean, last year I would have done, or the year before I would have done it, but now they don't need them. Brandon, I think. I mean, kudos for outside the box, but the Blue Jays would probably hang up the phone. Bassett and Guerrero for Torres and Rizzo. Hmm. That would be the ultimate fleece job. Cashman would be the GM of the century if he pulled that one off. Yeah. Nah, there's no tough talk in here. Some folks are saying that Judge needs to be tougher, but like, you know, we don't do the tough talking stuff here. That's for other channels. Tough talking, you know, trashing people real and blah blah blah. No, we don't do that here. We know that. And if he would straighten them out anyway. Yeah, I mean Brian Reynolds is in his found his groove again, so you'll see a number of players on the field, but that was, you know, there's a reason why Stroman owned up to it afterward because he berated, he trashed Gleyber Torres. Intensity is one thing, trashing plays is another. So, a lot of people are frustrated with Gleyber Torres. There's no doubt about that. No doubt about that. But there's also a time and a place for it. You know, that's what we said about Glasnow and Cole. That's what who said, Robert. And what did they say about Glasnow and Cole? Yeah, Reynolds is a good player. He really is a good player. And I would agree. I don't think Vlad's coming to the Yankees. Well, we're hearing now, Matt, that he might not be available. They might not be looking to trade him, but he would be the first in line. And the Yankees like him a lot. So if they could facilitate a trade, he'd be a guy that they would love to bring in here. There's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, it's going to be very unpredictable, Marcel. Very unpredictable the trade deadline. Yeah, no, nobody bullies. You know that, man. We don't play that here. There's other channels for fake tough guys and made men, and we just laugh at them from here. Trade tours for the entire Dodger team. Yeah, can you imagine that? Oh my gosh. Yeah, Vlad. I remember that. That's one reason. I think it's a immaturity thing. Is one reason why I don't think Vlad will come here. There's no doubt about it. Torres needs to step up in defense. No doubt about that. 100%. Same thing about that. Well, yeah, I mean, my guess is they're keeping tabs on it in the off season. But yeah, I mean, now we're talking about deadline, so we'll see what the price tag is going to be. What's going to be the sticking point right now? You know, uh, why would bring Clay home switch? Because he needs to get his regular throwing. If he doesn't, then he's out of whack. He's out of rhythm. So they've already said that he pitches every 3 or 4 days. Clay Holmes, whether they're losing or winning, gets in there and gets his work done, so he stays in rhythm. Yep. Yeah, we'll see, Brandon. I mean, we just need consistent players, man. We need consistent players. Yeah. We will see, Dennis. We will see. I mean, I don't disagree. The Yankees need to make some moves. That's for damn sure. Have a great night, Talbot. What's good? Thanks for coming on, brother. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it can be bad, but I mean, that's why I keep saying that it would be wise for the Yankees to be proactive and get ahead of this before waiting for the deadline and then realizing that guys aren't available and they couldn't make moves and blah blah blah. I would just try to make a bold move now. Even it doesn't have to be for the sexiest name. But if you get a player here, like a Renhefo or something like a Tanner Scott, then you do it now instead of waiting until the deadline. You know. Yeah, I mean McMahon will be awesome here, Chamin. It'll be freaking awesome. Um, yeah, I don't know, Matt. I mean, Oswaldo gets hot for a while and then he cools off for a while. So I really think it depends on who they can bring in at the deadline. And if they can, I mean, that's why John Birdie is so valuable here too. But yeah, I mean, some semblance of regular playing time would be good for Oswaldo Cabrera for this team. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Horizon, Herfield, Warren, to San Francisco for Taylor Rogers. For Taylor Rogers? Really? Let's see. Yeah, I don't think Vlad's gonna come here. Taylor Rogers. Giants. Here we go. 1-2 at a 223, 38 Ks. It's a reliever, solid. But that wouldn't that be a lot to give up for him? The question. Oh damn, Brandon's thrown. Forget jokes. That might be a little bit for a lot for Rogers Jack, but he's an definitely intriguing option. Joseph, welcome to the family, brother. Welcome to the family. Yeah, Birdie. I mean, Birdie. That's why we need Birdie back, man, because his versatility is so valuable here. I mean, Ryan, we've talked about him too, but right now we're hearing that he's not going to be available. That would stink, but it could be true. They could somehow get him. Okay. You know, you could somehow get him. That would be kind of cool. But it's still him alone wouldn't be enough. You'd still need more. You know, you still need more. I would agree, Ken. The bidding war is going to be and they're going to hold on to him as long as they can because they're going to try to pin teams off each other. But if I'm cashing, I'm trying to be proactive somewhere, trying to get something. You know, trying to get something. Yeah, no kidding. But too many guys in the IL. You damn right about that. Matt, my priorities infield, then bullpen, and maybe a starter, but in that order. Infield one, bullpen two. Jack, it was a great day today. She was a great birthday. Yeah. Thank you for asking, man. We were at my wife's family reunion too, so it was a long day, but it was good. Yeah, and tough talking is not necessary, especially out in the public. It doesn't make you look tough. It makes you look like an idiot. That's why I don't, listen to the people on the channels who just talk tough on a regular basis. They look like idiots. They do it. Don't scare anybody. The week after, Jonathan, I'm doing a panel next week with content creators. The following week is the open panel. Yeah, Joseph, welcome, brother. Welcome, 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 man. I have a round table next week, Jonathan. Next weekend. Me asking Santa for some workout tips. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Just needs to. I'm glad he's resumed activities already. So that's encouraging. That is encouraging. Now maybe he won't miss 8 weeks or whatever. Like, thank the heavens, and he can come back and hopefully be productive. He can definitely use his power. You know? We just need to put some guys on base in front of him. I hope so too, Matt. I hope so too, Matt. Big tomorrow. And I'm with you. I'm kind of with you in the same boat here with you, Ken. Two bullpen arms. I think probably one of them is what people are expecting, and then an infielder to somewhere. Could be a multiplayer trade. So that's a good one. Try comedians. All right, Jack. I like that. Photo that suggestion. Hold on 1 second here. Take a photo of that one. All right, good suggestion, Jack. Thank you. Get Luke Little thrown in. Luke Little. Who the hell is Luke Little? Let's see. Luke Little. Pitcher. Okay. 23-year-old pitcher. Ooh, it's 3-1 with a 380, 26 Ks and 23 innings. Whip away. Lefty reliever. I mean, that's not bad. Career 297 ERA. Not a bad piece for Matt Blake to work with. I like it. I like it. Yeah, music groups and singers here. I do have a list, Jack, that we'll go over. We'll add something. We'll add something to the next open panel. We'll add something. You guys okay with comedians next time? To add to the end, add to the end of the open panel. Comedians and funniest shows. Yeah, Cole's also James. He is also a smart guy, so he knows the adjustments that he needs to make, and he makes them. So he's definitely an intelligent pitcher. Bellinger and Imanaga will be sweet. Yeah. No, yeah, it would be huge, but Imanaga won't happen. No. Benny Hill. Damn. Okay, that is a great show. Great show. All right. Comedians and funniest movies and funniest shows. How's that sound, gang? How's that sound? Consigliere, you up for that? Oh, exactly, Mike. Yeah. They call them dumpster diving trades, right? And they wind up being wrong. All right, Consigliere. All right. I wanted to definitely want to get your green light on it. So that'll be the next time we add the back end. Comedians, funniest shows, and funniest movies. All right. Sunil's got impressions. Oh boy. Oh boy. Benny Hill was fantastic. I used to watch Benny Hill all the time with my grandfather, Jake Boss. Yeah. Benny Hill's a great show. We'll do our top five comedians, our top five funniest movies, our top five funniest shows. The Brewers would take Glaber for Bob Uecker if Cash paid his salary. Yeah, maybe Chow Mein. Yeah, yeah. Jeff Dunham, yeah, he is. And we could do. I mean, they could be alive or dead comedians, alive or dead. Um, Mr. Bean's pretty funny. He's pretty funny, Mr. Bean. He was in that movie Rat Race. That was a good movie. I enjoyed that. Brett came out on a 1-day contract. Oh, Brett Gardner. Yeah, 1 day for what though? Just to help him so he can retire. Is he Jerry Lewis? He wouldn't play Brett Gardner if they gave him a 1-day contract, but it'd be fun. That would be fun. He's got 2 signed Funko Pops. Are just nice. You can be. All right. Well, I'll definitely remind you guys. So it's going to be top 5 comedians, 5 funniest movies, 5 funniest shows. Let's go for those 3. I loved George Carlin, and his comedy is definitely relevant today. He's one of my favorites of all time, of all freaking time. Mm-hmm. You guys have some. You guys have some good ones. Looking forward to this. I am looking forward to this, but I'll let you all go. I wanted to get your take on this. This is what we're hearing right now, okay? And let me pull up. Let me see. Let's see if there's anything that's happened. Uh, Axel Foley. Beverly Hills Cop 4 is in. It has been recorded. I mean, it has been filmed. And let's see. Has anything happened with our Yankees? No. Another Jazz Chisholm to the Yankees trade proposal here. Yeah. Tanner Scott. The usual stuff. The usual stuff. Yeah, nothing yet. Okay, that's okay. That's okay. Carlin was like on point with everything. He was in tune with everybody. Watch out like that. Yeah, we talked about Tanner Scott quite a bit, Joseph. Yeah, I would take him. Dice Clay. I saw Dice Clay live. He's crazy. I saw him live. Jack. He's something else. Yeah. But well, get your names ready. Get your list ready. We're gonna bring it up. Okay. Talk about it in 2 weeks. You have 2 weeks to prepare for it. So remember that, gang. But have a great night, everybody. Peace and love to all these. Hit the likes on the way out. Hit the sub on the way out if you haven't done it. Sam Kinnison's another guy I love. Yes, indeed. The fruit smashing dude, that was Gallagher. Ken, that was Gallagher. Yeah. That guy was crazy. Smashed the watermelons all the time. Yeah. But yeah, have a great night, everybody. Sir, thank you so much for coming on as always. You are the best. This was always fantastic. And again, let's keep it coming. We'll add stuff. We'll make these things a lot more fun. All right. I appreciate you, Stephen B. You're the man too, man. You are the man. We're gonna keep doing it. We're gonna keep doing it. So again, 5 comedians, 5 favorite funniest movies, 5 funniest shows. Get your notes ready. Let's get to work. Have a great night. Hopefully, we'll be celebrating Yankees win tomorrow. Go Cole. Let's go, Yankees.